How's it going, everybody? It's Commander Nightshade reporting in for another episode of Let's Play Elite Dangerous. It's been a while, hasn't it? Well, I've got something exciting to start your day off with. Notice how I have 54 million credits. Well, I actually sold my Fertilance since I wasn't going to do anything with it, and with that money, we're actually going to unlock a new ship. Well, buy a new ship for ourselves. If we can find it here in a second. Here we go. The fabulous Crate Mark II. And, if you're curious, I went to, Icing Dock in the 109 Pisceum system to get this baby for a sweet 15% off discount. If it'll load. Ah, yes, much more cockpit window space to look out of. Beautiful. And that gives us about 16 million to work with in terms of kitting it out with the best stuff available. So, our next thing on the list is to just give it the best frameshift drive possible. And another thing that we're going to do here in a moment is go ahead and unlock the Guardian FSD booster, because if you look, our jump range is actually pitiful. But that's because we haven't outfitted it with a 5A frameshift drive yet. Which we're gonna do right now. My plans for this ship is to make it my not my all-purpose ship, but my exploration ship, as some people have their crate up to about 60 light years, which is pretty darn good for exploring. I just love the look of the ship. It's actually one of the old-fashioned elite ships from the old days of, like, the original Elite games. Let's see if they have it. 2A frameshift drive. Looks like they do have. Yeah, they do have a 5A frameshift drive. That'll put me down about 4 million credits, but it'll be more than worth it. Go ahead and buy that. Exchange the old module. And there we go. We get at least a jump range of about, let's see here, about 20 light years, almost. But I'm not going to go get my Guardian FSD booster in the crate, because that'd just be ridiculous. I'm just going to use my Type 6 transporter to make the way out of there. I'm just removing my weapons because I have no use for them. Yeah, if I were to make my way out to the Guardian bubble with the jump range that I have now, it'd take over 100 jumps, and I don't have time for that. Yeah, you don't need weapons on an Explorer ship. Although you do need a lot of heat sinks. I was just checking here to make sure that well, if it affected my jump range in any meaningful way, is what I'm trying to say. Now that we've got that covered, we can go ahead and hop in the Type 6 transporter and head out to the Guardian bubble. See you guys there. Okay, so I made my way over to the Cole 173 sector QU-O D625, which is the current system. It's really weird. I think these system names are just procedurally generated. Yeah, which isn't always the greatest. Just kind of boring, you know? We're just here to get ourselves our fancy Guardian FSD booster. I don't think this is... It might be the right planet. I just gotta wait for the ruins to show up in my comms panel. No, actually, it doesn't show up. So, yeah, wrong planet, I guess. They all look the same, though. Or relatively the same. Hopefully, when Quarter 4 rolls around, Frontier will add more distinction to planets, because I know they were talking about making that a thing. There is a set of Guardian ruins here, though. I'll just cut to it when we find it. Alright, so I was correct on one thing and wrong on another. There is a set of Guardian ruins in that particular system. However, those ruins do not have the pylons and the little puzzle that you have to solve in order to get the blueprints to get yourself Guardian technology. This set in System HD 63154, however, does. And that's what we're going to do. One thing I don't like about these Guardian planets is they're all the same monotone shade of gray. And it just doesn't help your case when you're trying to find and activate the pylons. I guess it's better than beigification, but still, I'd rather have beige than monotone gray. I must also mention that parking near these Guardian structures with a large ship, like a Type 6 transporter or a Crate Mark II, is an absolute nightmare. Frontier should just maybe add a little bit more flat terrain into their planets, or at least the algorithm that modifies planets. Took me a good 5 or 10 minutes to just find a landing space for this gosh darn thing. But it doesn't matter, as we will eventually get what we want. I was a bit surprised to find another commander here. There are actually quite a lot of Guardian ruins in the Cole 173 sector. I speculate, or many people have speculated on the forums, that the Cole 173 sector, along with the Regor Dark region, is part of the Guardian home territory. And as mentioned in one of the scientist Ramtaz logs, one of the scientists who was studying the Guardians, on one of these particular systems lies the blueprints for Guardian ships, so to speak. And I find that rather interesting, so I'll be on the lookout for that whenever Frontier decides, hey, let's just open that up for the players. Maybe some random schmuck who's in his ship will just stumble upon it randomly, and I want to be the guy that finds it, because that'd be just cool. It's kind of like how that one guy who was traveling in the Colonia region just randomly happened to stumble upon Jack's station because he found a system with a population of 100. It looks like this commander was struggling to find the solution to the puzzle, although he didn't stay to help me, unfortunately. I would have done this by myself, but again, you see how dark this planet is? It's not the easiest thing finding the pylons. I managed to luck out and find a landing space within a reasonable amount of time. This, I believe, is a module? Yeah, it's a module type ruin, so you'll be able to get module blueprints for it, which is the correct kind of ruins. There's also structures where you can get guardian weapons, which guardian weapons are primarily used for Thargoid slaying, although some of them can be used decently in PvE and PvP combat. Although, I wouldn't recommend it, because you have to go out of your way to craft more ammunition for your weapons if you run out. Although it's kind of easy to just spend 30 minutes to an hour just stocking up on as many guardian parts as you can. So yeah, this commander's leaving. But I eventually stumble upon another commander who's willing to help me at least get one guardian module blueprint. I decided not to get the guardian power plant module, because I just need the FSD booster. Although in hindsight, I probably should have at least gotten one more module out of it. Here the commander's just leaving, and this is my feeble attempt at solving the guardian puzzle. I don't like how the first two pylons are kind of up this structure without a ramp. Kind of have to time your thruster boosts precisely, or else you're going to fall over. And I failed the puzzle, no surprise. However, luckily for me, another commander shows up a bit later and decides to help me get my module blueprint. Took him a little bit to land, too. He was in a crate mark, too. I'm just fending off the Guardian Sentinels for him to safely go around and get the pylons charged up. I find it really interesting that after 1 million years of the Guardians being, I don't want to say extinct, but maybe driven into hiding of some sort, that these constructs are still fully functional and buried underneath the sand. Because you'd think, well, sand and rubble and dirt and whatnot, because you think that after 1 million years, sand would just get into these Guardian Sentinels' circuitry and just fry them. But no, they still work for some reason. Now, one thing that you want to do is go around every nook and cranny of this Guardian structure and get as many materials as you can, so you have to make as little trips as you can. Or as little trips as you have to. Not surprisingly, well, the rarest component that you'll have the lowest drop rate for is the Guardian technology component, which is used in a lot of the major module and weapon blueprints. Fortunately, in a recent patch, the Guardian grind was lessened, although there's still some of it left. But I don't mind games with grind in it. Makes the accomplishment all the more worthwhile. Hats off to Commander, obviously Steven, I think his name was, for helping me. I do love the little light show that it puts on. Yeah, I just kinda think that the Guardians aren't really dead. Because it did say that some Guardians were exiled to an unknown part of space. And hear me out for a moment. If my hunch is correct, then maybe the Guardian exiles were kicked out from either the Cole 173 sector or the Regor Dark region, and the Guardian exiles made these ruins to store their technology, or this could have been from before or during the Guardian War. But my personal opinion is that they were kicked out and maybe exiled to either the Cole 173 sector or some other sector that we haven't checked yet. The Pencil sector might be a good place, or just another region-locked area that's close to the Guardian bubble. One thing that you're gonna need when you activate all these pylons is an ancient relic to put in the slot that's right underneath my SRV.
Cargo scoop retracted.
I'm just waiting for him to activate the rest of the pillars. I eventually go to another set of Guardian ruins that is more well lit, and then I can eventually just drive around a bunch and then uncover all the pillars and then easily solve it for another 2 weapon module blueprints, which I will then use to unlock the Guardian Shard Cannons, which is, in my opinion, one of the best Guardian weapons for Thargoid slaying. I haven't really built a Thargoid-based ship, though I don't know what I'm going to make that. It'd probably take me millions of credits and a lot of time and investment, but it'd probably be worth it once Steam starts to pick up with the Thargoids a little bit more. I know that we just got like 3 new subsets of Thargoid scouts added to the game. It'll take a while for me to build a fully fledged Thargoid slaying, fully engineered ship, but it'll be worth it in the long run. I'll just cut to when we have all the pillars active. Alright, now that we've have all the pillars active and placed a ancient relic in that little slot, we can go ahead and scan this Guardian Ancient data terminal to get ourselves some module blueprint fragment. to get ourselves a Guardian FSD booster. You only have to collect one module blueprint segment to get the Guardian FSD booster, but if you want everything, then you'll have to do the whole pillar puzzle multiple times. Oh, and be aware once you do activate the Guardian terminal, there will be a bunch of Guardian Sentinels for you to shoot down and collect their materials. Or you could just get away if you've taken too much damage. So I will just mop up all these Guardian Sentinels, and I will see you back in the bubble where we will unlock our fancy new Guardian FSD booster for Crate Mark II. Just informing Commander, obviously Stephen, that I've got the scan. Again, thank you to him for helping me. Okay, so with all that done and all the Guardian Sentinels dead and their materials collected, I just went to Morris Station to get ourselves the 24 focus crystals required to unlock the Guardian FSD booster. Not too much in terms of material requirements outside of the Guardian stuff. You just need ancient shock relievers or something like that.
Engaging docking restraints. It's good to have you with us, Commander.
8 of them. Oh, ancient shock mounts. I was close enough, though. You'll need at least 8 tons of cargo space to carry it, because it's not a material, but it's a commodity. And now I went to Antonelli Station to go to a material trader that has the focus crystals. Note, it's actually a manufactured material trader instead of a raw material trader. Don't make that mistake. So yeah, it's pretty much been a wild goose chase trying to get all the materials to unlock just one module. But trust me, once you go through the hassle of unlocking the Guardian FSD booster, your travels throughout the galaxy will be made much, much easier if you're trying to go for a higher explorer rank. Which is exactly what I'm trying to do. Because explorer is by far the easiest class. I don't know if you want to say class, but yeah, let's just go for class to get elite in. It just takes a long time. And once we get elite rank, then we can get access to stations like Jameson, Memorial, and Shinrata Desra, which have a bunch of ships, well, maybe all the ships in the game. Quite a unique station. So, now that we're here at Antonelli Station, all that we need to do is dock and buy ourselves the focus crystals with some materials. I barely have enough to get all of what I need, but does not matter because focus crystals are quite easy to get with a few sessions of combat. It's the kind of materials where You just have to wander around in Super Cruise for a while, scanning wakes that drive you insane. How Frontier thought that was quality gameplay I will never understand, but I'm not. Developers that created a whole entire Milky Way universe, so I have no idea or no right to be questioning them.
Touchdown.
And here we go.
Landing gear deployed.
Docked at Antonelli Station to get our 24 focus crystals.
Landing completed. Disembark when ready.
That is such a lie when she tells you to disembark. I mean, when we get space legs, then maybe we can walk around the station, but no. Not this time. It'll probably be a long while before space legs is implemented. Yeah. Here's where I made the mistake of going to a raw material trader instead of manufactured. Don't mind me.
Contact. Thrusters offline.
So yeah, it turns out that I had the wrong material trader. So I just looked up systems on Inara, which is an Elite Dangerous database. And turns out that Morganport was the closest manufactured material trader. It's all the way down in, I believe, crystals. There we go. And we just want regular focus crystals. Don't have much materials to trade for it, but we have just enough to get what we need. Just figuring out what I want to trade. My voice gets kind of raspy without water while commentating these. So now that we have all our baubles and doodads, we just need to head over to a station with a Guardian Tech Broker, which I just used Inara again to search up a Guardian Tech Broker that's closest to me, and it happened to be the, excuse me if I butcher this system name, the Diagwandry AB system at Ray Gateway. Fortunately, we're gonna have to do the, well, unfortunately, we're gonna have to do the loop of shame to wrap back around and then drop in. But, multiple commanders have partaken in the loop of shame before. Took a while to just unlock the Guardian FSD booster, but it's way worth it, because you get an extra 10.5 light years added to your jump range if you're going the maximum module size. But why would you go any smaller unless your ship has power issues? I'll see you when we dock. One little detail that I like is how the landing pads in some stations are different colors.
Landing gear deployed.
It's just a little nice touch. This game is full of atmospheric and immersive details that you would miss without a keen pair of eyes. Here we are at Ray Gateway to go and visit the Tech Broker, which can be found under Contacts There we go. And down at the very bottom, and here we have it, the Guardian FSD booster. These are all the listed materials. Take the time to pause and write them down if you need to. And here we have it. We can now outfit our ships with the Guardian FSD booster. You only have to unlock it once, and then you have it for all of your ships, which really makes it nice. Now, our second order of business is engineering our frameshift drive on our Crate Mark II to get it up to at least 30 light years in combination with the FSD booster. You can see here that it goes up to 9.25 for this particular ship, but with a 5-slot ship like the crate we're about to do right now, we will be able to get 10.5, which is a phenomenally huge increase to our FSD jump range. It's quite nice. Had to give up a little bit of cargo space, but it's an explorer ship. You only really need like 32 tons of cargo space at maximum. Beautiful, she's beautiful. I decided to give this vessel a proper name. Kinda wish the keypad showed up on recording, but it doesn't. The Exodus. Very fitting name for a crate, huh? I like it a lot. Wish there were paints that you could just earn simply by getting top percentile in community goals. Frontier might have done that once or twice, actually. And now we're heading down to the trophy camp to get the most basic of engineered FSD drives. No, yeah. I just said FSD drives when I meant to say FSD by itself. I haven't unlocked Elvira Martuk at this point, but this is a post-commentary. At this point I have. And I've engineered the frameshift drive a little bit more. So now we're at 30 light years, which is enough to explore the Col 173 sector and the Pleiades sector without much trouble. We've just about docked at the trophy camp. However, I bumped into a few things and got fines for it, so I immediately realized that I can't access the engineer without paying my fines first. How about that new crime and punishment update, everybody? Yep. It restricts you from doing services at a station for just minor infractions. I mean, the crime and punishment system is good in a few ways, but in other areas it needs work. Like, maybe for traffic violations, they shouldn't restrict access. Just give you the fine and leave it at that. So now I have to fly over to Craigle Zone and then pay off my fine.
Docking procedure completed. Ship secured.
Which is just great, but doesn't really impede the overall goal too much. Don't have very much money left after purchasing the Advanced Discovery Scanner and Detailed Surface Scanner for my crate. I have the bounty vouchers necessary to unlock from the Chieftain bounty hunting session that was done a few episodes ago. Or last episode, I think. Water tastes so good. Anyways, I'll see you back when I have that fine paid off and engineer the ship more. And that's why you always scan every single ship that you can to get data drops. Yeah, remember that part where we said we would be unlocking Elvira Martuk in the future? Well, it turns out that this was this episode.
Flight control online.
This is where you'll get your grade 5 FSD upgrades.
If you wish to land. Clearance granted. Proceed to landing pad 04.
This is probably one of the main engineers that I'll be heavily invested in. Because if I ever want to get to Colonia in the future, I'll need all the FSD I can get. Or all the jump range I can get, rather.
Warning. Landing gear not
I've
deployed.
committed myself to not putting a docking computer on this ship so I can learn
Gear deployed.
the finer things of docking your ship. It's a little bit on the awkward side to dock with a PS4 controller, but you get used to it after a while. In order to unlock Elvira Martuk, I had to get 3 Soontil relics, which you can just go on ettb.io and search for a system that has Soontil relics. It's a rare commodity.
Landing operation complete. Commence system shutdown. Welcome, Commander.
Hull repaired.
Go ahead and go into the engineer's workshop and give him his 3 Soontil relics. So, to recap this episode, we got ourselves a brand new ship in the Crate Mark II. We went down to a Guardian structure site, did the puzzle, unlocked the Guardian FSD booster, and we got 38 light years of jump range for our ship. See you next time. Bye-bye.